Hello and welcome to episode 22 of a podcast I regret starting with this man. Today we're going to be talking about the rise of GEO in hotel marketing.
The rise of what?
GEO.
I've never heard of it.
We're going on record as calling it GEO.
Not
Generative
AI.
No, we're not calling it AIO. We're not calling it AIEO.
IOO.
Not AI SEO.
AI SEO.
No, because you can't say
SEO AI?
No, it sounds like the start of Old MacDonald, and we're not. We're going to go on record and say GEO. Okay? GEO.
That's very threatening there. I'll find you.
I'm still pretty caffeinated, kids. We're talking about the rise of GEO in hotel marketing. Engines like, just to give you background, GPT, Gemini, Perplexity, reshaping how people find hotels. This episode is going to break down what GEO means, what you folks need to consider for the future, how fast this whole thing's moving, and should you be scared?
Yes.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Next time we'll go into a little bit more detail about it. So, GEO, I'm going to have to get used to saying that myself. GEO, the shift away from traditional search engine optimization into generative engine optimization or conversational engineering. GEO, let's stick with GEO.
Okay.
What are hotels going to need to consider for this?
Oh, gosh. That's a difficult question to answer because we don't know. I mean, we've got ideas. When I say we, I want to talk about the general industry, not just 3 and 6 here. I said there are ways that you can influence, AI LLMs. Certainly when they're going out and answering a specific question, but we really are in the early days of what SEO was back sort of like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't even remember when it started. It was so long ago. But back when there was all kinds of weird and wonderful ways that you could manipulate SEO before any colour hat actually existed, whether it was black hat or white hat in the SEO industry, before that even existed, there were always people that were going to be trying to influence the results. Mm-hmm. We're in exactly that same Wild West right now.
Great way of describing
with large language models. I've heard 1,000,001 different ways of influencing the results. We can see very clearly now that there are certain websites out there that are influencing that. Wikipedia, Reddit. These are historically websites that hotels would not pay a great deal of attention to. No. It wouldn't be brought up in regular conversation when we're talking about your digital makeup and your strategy. Now it's like, okay, actually we need to be on Wikipedia. We need to be trying to influence Reddit.
I would never talk about upvotes. Hey guys, you got 2,000 likes and 4,000 upvotes on r/hotels last week. It's not part of what we'll talk about.
Exactly, but now it's coming into the conversation where we're seeing evidence of up to 25%, in some cases up to a third of traffic coming to a hotel website is actually from an AI generated experience somewhere, whether that's Google search or actually from like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever it's going to be. So the amount of traffic that is coming to your website is still, it's probably more than you realize, especially because only over the last few weeks, weeks or months, depends on when this actually goes out, but only recently that Google have actually started acknowledging, some of the links. And actually, when you click on those, they're actually showing in GA4 as coming from
what search?
AI search rather than like your traditional SEO position. So lots to consider, lots to think about. What it's actually going to look like, even in the short-term future, still very much to be decided and can be influenced at any moment by any one of the big sort of like 4 or 5 LLMs that are out there.
I think one of the big differences we're seeing, and it's interesting to compare it to the SEO wars, like the search wars of the 90s.
Yeah.
You've got more language models now, and the pace is incredible.
It's a lot faster.
Rather than these large, not clunky, but very structural and systemic changes that they make as and when they release a new way of grading an SEO framework. First of all, I don't think we'll get told, hey guys, this is the way that AI bots or language models are changing the way they rank you. I don't think we'll get that almost spoon-fed. And the way in which the big four, if you want to call them that for the time being, they're going to be different. So you might, if you go to for example, an AI engine and say, what's the best hotel in New York for a family of four? You might get four different answers depending on where they get the information from, how they source the data, how they pull the information from it. One of the interesting things I do see, I think, and I don't think this is really drip down yet as fast as it eventually will, the impetus on reviews. Like
Yes.
the OTAs are very they're very intense sources of information for language models, and when you're talking about the links, it will reference. So we got this from TripAdvisor, from Expedia, we got this from wherever. I don't yet think people have cottoned on to just how important the review process is.
Yeah.
Yet
For AI.
for this part of it, and I know we've touched on reviews and answering reviews in a previous episode, but I think this changes the game again.
Yeah.
I think you go from just people are going to do the research to you're not even going to be in the mix because your reviews are either terrible or unanswered or 3 or 4 months old, whereas your competitor down the road.
Well, yeah, I mean, like we were just discussing it sort of earlier around, the agentic models that are coming in now. Like, if you're able to book, you literally say, hey, ChatGPT, this is my criteria. Tell me, give me 3 recommendations, and then book that one. And obviously that it's going to be drawn on so much information from so many different places that you're going to have all of your ducks in the row now. You really, it's going to be more and more difficult. I mean, once we understand how the majority of AI engines are actually working and where we're going to need to plug that information into, then you can start to influence it. But at the moment, we don't know which direction they're actually going to go in. We know where they are now, as we mentioned. We know about some of the websites that they're working in. But there's also there's also some other factors here about the way that AIs operate. If you think in terms of SEO, right now you've got like Google's crawler, the crawl bot that they have comes onto your website and very systematically goes through your entire website. It will scan the homepage, it will look for links, it'll click on that link and go to the next page and carry on, rinse and repeat until it's indexed every part of your site that is available for it to be able to index, or you tell it not to. It then takes all of that information, stores it away in some big Google safe somewhere, and then decides amongst all of the other queries that are coming in where they're going to rank your page for each one of those individual queries. I'm boiling it down to very, very basic sort of analogy there. Large language models don't work that way. They're people pleasers. So if you ask it a question, it's like an excited Labrador. It runs off, chases the ball, and it will go down to your website. It'll go down as far as it needs to go to answer the question. Goes, that's it, I'm done, and I'm running straight back to my owner and bringing the ball back. So
can I take a slight caveat on that, please?
Yeah, go on then.
So talking about them being people pleasers, have you seen the thing that people are doing online where they're asking AI for meanings of phrases and then making phrases up?
No, I've not seen this one.
What did I ask it? Oh, where was this? So I was with my boys, my 2 children, obviously, and we made up phrases to ask GPT to define for us, and what they made. Where was it? I hope I can find this one because it's well worth me. The wisest monkey tickles the lion last, meaning. So we wrote the phrase, the wisest monkey tickles the lion last, meaning. And Google's like, oh, that's clearly a well-known phrase. That's a very well-known
ChatGPT, rather.
Yeah. Well, no, it was in Google. It was the Google Generative.
Oh, got you, right, yeah.
It was like, well, it's obviously, it's a parable about patience. And about not poking a beast. If you're the wisest monkey, you're going to approach last after the lion has fed on all the other monkeys. I was like, you absolute lunatic. And then they just got unhinged because obviously the 2 children. and it was about
Why did one of your boys walk away?
it got really unhinged. There's like Italian brain rot memes in there as well. But
Yeah.
the idea about AI being such an incredible people pleaser.
Oh, it's massively, but that's the thing as well. It's also understanding that it's only going to go to the surface level it needs to answer the question.
Yeah.
So how you present information, the format that you present it, and the way is also going to change by comparison to SEO. There's going to be a hell of a lot of similarities in any case, and there is a huge amount of overlap. At the end of the day, we're talking about content.
Yep.
These are just words that are going to be somewhere that tells whichever bot is crawling what your website is and does and the information you want to give it. So it's all content. What we're talking about is how you're structuring it, how that's read, where your content is actually now as well, because we've obviously mentioned other websites.
Do you think we're seeing do you remember the furore about your website should be mobile first?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Mobile first, and that was what
That was from Google.
Across the entirety of the teens.
Yeah.
2010 to 2020. Mobile first, mobile first. Do you think now it should be geo first, geo first, geo first?
No,
I do think we're going to hear that.
I think we're already hearing that, but I do think it's a little bit premature. I think at the end of the day, whilst we're seeing 25 to 30% of traffic coming from AI, that still means you've got a huge amount of traffic that's coming from traditional organic methods that follow the same rules that we already know about, and then follows the same principles. And the biggest issue here, it's almost like it would be comical if it wasn't true, is the fact that if you look at most hotels, their current SEO is shite.
Shite.
Yes, that's a technical British term for meaning not very good. It's.
Do you think that translates across the Atlantic?
Well, I know you put that E on, it can confuse people, can't it?
You lot of the extra vowels.
Yeah.
Missing vowels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aluminum.
But this is the issue, that there's too many hotels that are not investing in SEO. The clients of 3&6 that are investing in SEO, we're seeing vast dividends being paid back. There's still a huge amount of traffic that is coming to your website through traditional methods, and until that flips and goes the other way, and that was the turning point with Google, is when they were seeing more mobile traffic coming to our website than desktop. That's when the conversation started turning on the run up to that. It was saying you need to be mobile first because you've got more traffic coming to the internet via mobile than you do via desktop. The argument and the pushback within the hotel industry was always, well, we still convert more on desktop in the hotel industry, our hotel specific, our industry specific.
Well, that'll flip as dinosaurs like you and I consigned to the history bins.
Yeah, I was going to say, my thumbs don't work on
Tiny
my phone.
though.
Yeah.
Have you used agentic mode yet?
I've not, believe it or not. I got access to it last week, but I've been really busy at work because somebody decided to go and get a tan on a beach somewhere and leave me running the entire company. Exactly.
And what a great job you did.
Thank you very much,
did a
buddy.
great job.
I guess during that time on said beach in Alcudia, someone got to play with Agentic then.
Someone did.
Yes.
For whatever reason.
You weren't doing a lot.
Well, no. Google said, we're not allowed to release, it was GPTs, we're not allowed to release agentic mode into Europe yet for legal reasons. And everyone's like, oh, okay. And I didn't have it in the UK, and I landed in my flight, and GPT was like, you want to get an agent going? Let's get an agent pie going.
I mean,
it's not mainland Europe, so whatever.
There's enough Brits in Mallorca, to be honestly, make it an extension.
No, that's true. It was clunky, if I'm honest. So I tried to say, because all this furore about, we're just going to say, go book me a hotel, and this is my kids, and book me a place, and they'll go, sure thing, boss, and off it goes. It was really clunky, because I went to started an agent mode chat and said, hey, I was at the hotel I was at. Zafiro Palace Alcudia, brilliant place.
Yeah,
big shout out to Zafiro. I said, find me a family room, Zafiro Alcudia, best price. Search everywhere, direct, OTAs, bed bank, whatever. And it was like, okay. Off it tried, this little window popped up, and it came back and said, the best rate's direct. I was like, okay, it's interesting. Where have you checked? Well, I've checked everywhere, mate. Be more specific. Where have you checked? It's like asking your kids.
Yeah.
Where have you checked?
Have you cleaned your room?
In the morning, I can't find my shoes. Where have you checked? I've checked everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. These shoes have disappeared from this plane of existence, Dad. That's nonsense, mate. Where have you checked? I've checked Booking. I've checked Expedia. This is for the website, not the shoes. I've checked Booking. I've checked Expedia. Right, okay, that's not everywhere, buddy. Where else have you checked? I've just checked. It was very non-committal as to where he got this price from.
Yeah.
One of the really interesting things I think we're going to find with agentic mode is as people allow it, or allowed, and you take GPT as an example to run with this here. I've started a mode where GPT has access to my emails, and it will tell me which my important emails are to basically prioritize.
That's why you haven't answered any of my emails.
Blame GPT.
Yeah, sure.
Not,
Okay, whatever.
not me. Okay, but I'm a humble servant of the computers.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, whatever.
Humble servant. Eventually, I think these models are going to be so entrenched in our lives. It will know everything about me. It'll be able to access my text messages.
Yeah.
My family, read my WhatsApps.
Answer your wife.
Yeah. She's getting really mad, Ben. May I suggest lilies?
She doesn't sound like that. I don't know why he's put
No,
that voice
that
on.
was. She watches these.
Does she?
Yeah,
Hi, Kim. We love you. Please don't hurt me next time I see
absolute
you.
Smacking. And eventually I'll be able to say, hey, GPT, book me a hotel for next week. And it'll go, okay, so the kids are off, it's school holidays, you need a family room with a pool and a view and this and that and the other. And agent mode eventually, not yet, but eventually will be so powerful that I'll be able to give it such basic instructions like that. And then what we're seeing is I think we'll see a very quick rise and fall of search engines. I genuinely feel like we won't be searching in that traditional bidding model through Google, whether or not GPT brings out some form of ads.
Yeah, well, they've been talking about it. There's I think Sam Altman. Yeah, I was going to say Altberg then, but yeah, Sam Altman has indicated. Was it tail end of this year or next year they were talking about? I can't remember, but it's coming. It will be coming. I think to your point there about the agentic bit, I'm still of a mindset that yes, I believe all of that is going to come. But I'm going to be one of those that's going to be very reluctant to give it access to my credit card. Just when it goes off and hallucinates and says, hey, I've bought you 3 tons of limes.
Okay, is that the worst thing that's ever been bought using your credit card? Buddy?
No, probably not.
Okay, so...
Yeah, no, but
closed.
I was in control of that. Well, okay, I might have been drunk.
Okay.
But I was still technically in control of that.
I stand by what I said. Okay, that's not the worst thing that we bought.
No, that's true.
At all.
No, it really isn't. No, it really isn't. Yeah.
At all. So... I'm excited. I'm excited to see, and it might be you might end up having like a I don't know, a PayPal-esque setup where GPT doesn't have access to your card, but has access to a middleman that can use your card to purchase things. Blah 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 blah.
And then you're going to get AIs that are going to pretend to be AI, so they can get access to your payment details. It's going to be brilliant. The whole scams that are going to come,
and then we're going to go full circle back to cash.
Yeah, once the fall of society.
The fall of society, bottle caps. Shout out, fallout. No, I think it's very, very, very exciting. And I think we're going to move this year quickly into like geo optimization and geo web first.
Yes.
There's some very interesting bits of software. There's already AI powered booking engines. There's people in the industry talking about it. There's collaborations with people who've joined other companies.
Yeah.
Looking at AI powered this, AI powered that. A lot of it, I think, is buzzwords. I think it's people trying to get their foot in the door, and I think it's slow and steady here. I think if you knee jerk too quickly into this, and you nail something to a mast and realize eventually it's wrong, you're going to quickly lose the support, the trust, the belief of the clients.
And this is the thing: it's going to be wrong. Because whatever we do now, because whatever we decide to implement as an industry to try and influence, it's going to skew the AI results. It's going to, like if enough people can influence how a large language model actually answers, then is that technically the answer that the AI should be giving, or it's the one that has been influenced to give?
Is it just a puppet?
Yes.
Is it a digital marionette?
Exactly, which is essentially what, you could argue is with Google. When Google says it gives you the best results, well, no, it gives you the best SEO results rather than the actual best answer to your question. Now, over time, that's evolved. It's become, the algorithm with Google has become much more sophisticated than certainly when it originally started. But we go back to that. We're in the Wild West right now. Yeah. There will be points, and I'd be amazed if, OpenAI, Google, Yahoo, everybody else that are not already looking at this, whilst it may not be a primary concern because, well, they're trying to win the LLM wars at the moment right now. At some point when we start to see some kind of victors coming out, then we'll start to see a much keener focus on this. Or it could be wrong. It could be they're looking at it now and we start to see it in any case. You know, we're in uncharted territory here because, you know, the world of SEO moved quite slowly because the adoption of the internet wasn't as huge when Google was coming into existence.
Yeah.
Now, it's every day. It's part of life. So what we're seeing is just an acceleration of change. You know, you mentioned it before. So I contradicted myself there, saying it could come quicker. It may not. Come on, Ben. it could, but then equally, there's only so many resources you got, and if you're fighting for existence with building the best LLM out there. How much of a consideration is this going to be? Yeah. No. Up until the point it starts messing with your results.
I could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
I really, really could. I feel like there's lots on this list we've missed. But
yeah.
I enjoyed discussing that, even if we did go
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, there's certainly, like you mentioned about the OTAs as well, that being a source of information on LLMs. So, you know, the obvious point there is, you know, making sure that your data is clean on all of the OTAs, that it's exactly what you want. And it's not just making sure that all of your images are the same and all of your descriptions kind of the same. It's making sure that your descriptions are descriptive.
Descriptive descriptions.
Exactly. Yeah. Not just like a, you know, standard room, premium room, whatever it would be. You're going to have to go into some more detail here because as we start getting into agentic, as you were saying, I want a family room that's interconnecting, that's overlooking the balcony, that is got a strong away from a strong breeze.
Overlooking a balcony.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay.
Well, I like looking down on them. You know, it's just a bit weird.
You want the voyeurism suite. So.
Yes, with a stiff breeze. Indeed. But you know what I mean. But when you're putting in like all of the little things that you want when you're wanting to book through an agent, well, unless you're putting in a huge amount of detail in multiple sources, including your own website, you're not gonna answer that question.
No, I agree. Kids, that was our view on GEO. Stick by the name, and I'm gonna try my best to use it. If you catch me saying anything else, feel free to tell me off. I don't think this will be the last time we'll touch on this subject because I think we're only scratching the surface. I think he's going to move so quickly that we'll have no choice but to keep talking about this. Any questions about it? Let us know. Reach out in the comments if you think we missed anything. Until next time.